So before we start, just a quick note on spoilers. This video contains no major spoilers for Super Mario Odyssey, but you'll see footage of all worlds, including the last one. So with that being said, when Super Mario Odyssey was released a couple of days ago, speedrunners and glitchhunters got together and started to ask the eternal question: how broken is this game? And for Super Mario Odyssey, the answer to this question is not really broken, at least not yet. While there are some interesting glitches and skips, nothing completely game-breaking was found. Yet. Nonetheless, a lot of the known glitches and skips are really interesting and a ton of fun to watch. So what we're going to do in this video is to take a look at the coolest glitches and most interesting skips which are already found in Super Mario Odyssey. So you ready? Let's break this. So let's start with a really interesting out-of-bounds glitch in the Seaside Kingdom. In order to get through the walls here, Mario needs some help. He needs the help of Weegeechan and of Glydon, or Glitchhunter, as I like to call him. You'll see why in a moment. But first, let's get Mario through this wall. If Mario kills this Weegeechan, it will respawn at this place a couple of seconds later. But if Mario captures Glitchhunter and moves him to exactly the same spot where the Weegeechan is about to respawn, the Weegeechan sometimes becomes confused and decides to spawn inside the floor, since his usual spawn place is a little bit crowded. If Mario now captures the Weegeechan, he's able to mind control him through the wall, and he's officially out of bounds. This is one of the coolest out-of-bounds tricks in the game, since it makes it possible to explore the Seaside Kingdom from below the ocean floor. It's really easy to pull off as well. It only took me about 5 minutes to get it once. By the way, it's actually possible to pull this off without using the Glitchhunter, but I found it harder to do without our glasses-wearing dinosaur. I played around below the ocean floor for a little bit, looking for another glitchy thing or a really fast way to collect a couple of moons, but sadly I wasn't able to find something really crazy. But if someone of you wonderful people wants to give it a try, there is definitely a lot of potential here. Our next glitch already has a use. This is more a skip than a glitch, but it's really cool nonetheless. In the Cascade Kingdom, it is possible to use the other dinosaur in the game to get to the boss fight really fast. So if Mario possesses this huge dinosaur, he's able to destroy the blocks blocking this trampoline. All that our dinosaur plumber needs to do now is to jump high into the air and to jump out of the dinosaur at the right moment in order to trigger the boss fight cutscene at the top of the hill. This is used in the current 124 moon speedrun and skips about 40 seconds. What a useful dinosaur. We'll see more helpful dinosaurs in a second, but first, let's use a silly pan-throwing hammer bro in order to get out of bounds in Luncheon. This glitch is really easy to get and anyone can do this without any practice. So head to the city in Luncheon as either a silly pan bro or as a goofy fire bro. I found it a little bit easier to get this glitch as a silly pan bro than as a goofy fire bro, but it's absolutely doable as douchebag bro of Mario's choice. Anyway, all that our plumber needs to do is to jump into this corner and he's out of bounds. Sadly, there isn't much to do here. All that Mario can do here is to either watch the backside of the 2D section or to bonk into an invisible wall and drop into a bottomless pit. He can try to enter a pipe from the wrong side, but sadly that's not how pipes work. Or he can throw fireballs out of this wall directly at this talking fork. At least the fork will never know who attacked it. Anyway, let's have some fun with one of the first glitches found in this game. If Mario talks to the Talkatoo in the Metro Kingdom, on the same frame as the Talkatoo is hit by a seed, the camera carrying Lakitu decides to only film the parrot from now on. Most of you probably have seen this by now, but the reason why I showcased this is because there is actually a little bit more to this glitch. So first, this does not only work in the Metro Kingdom, but in every kingdom, as long as Mario finds a way to bring a seed to the Talkatoo. So what interested me was to find out what happens if Mario collects a moon while the camera is locked. Will it soft lock the game? Will the camera go back to normal? Will nothing happen? I had to find it out. So I did this little setup in the Sand Kingdom in order to get a moon directly behind the Talkatoo, since, as it turns out, it's really hard to collect a moon or even to play the game when the camera carrying Lakitu refuses to do his job. Anyway, so it was still surprisingly tough to get this moon, but once I got it, this happened. The camera went back to Mario and locked afterwards in a new position. So apparently it is possible to reposition a locked camera, which finally gives us a hard mode for Super Mario Odyssey. Hooray! So I want to challenge anyone who is crazy enough to try it, to collect the 16 moons required in order to beat the Sand Kingdom, while the camera is locked the whole time. I'll try it myself as well, it's going to be fun. Okay, back to our helpful dinosaur. So Glydon's hitbox is really weird. If we bring this mustache dinosaur to this small ledge in the wooded kingdom and carefully walk over it, it is possible to glitch into the ground and to get out of bounds this way. This might take a little bit of practice, but it's not that hard. So there isn't much we can do by clipping out of bounds here. The only use I found was to imprison Mario and Glydon in this room together with a fire bro, which would soft lock the game if Mario wasn't able to teleport out. It's really a pity that there isn't more we can do by glitching through this corner. But luckily, it's not only possible to glitch through this corner, but to glitch through literally every corner in the game. This allows us, for example, to finally take a look at the interior of the houses in the Sand Kingdom, or to finally get into a pipe while controlling Glydon. Quite literally. This glitch is insane, since it allows us to get basically everywhere out of bounds where we can bring the flying dinosaur to, and it's a ton of fun to mess around with this. So before we head to the only glitch I personally found in this game, let's take a look at a small but really cool looking skip. So in the wooded kingdom, it's actually possible to reach the brutal fight at the top of the tower without entering the tower. This skip definitely falls into the category way easier to pull off than it looks. Just give it a try, it's a really fast and fun way to make it atop the tower. Sadly, this isn't part of any current speedrun, since there are 2 really quick moons inside the tower. But maybe one day. So the glitch I personally found. I was messing around with the pyramid in the Sand Kingdom and I tried to find a way to glitch Mario inside the pyramid early, since this might be really useful for speedrunning. So I thought maybe there is a way to use the hitbox of a seed to push Mario inside the pyramid. While I wasn't able to glitch Mario into this wall, I managed to get the seed into the wall. That's a start, I guess. For real though, if someone wants to mess around with the pyramid entry and finds a way to clip into this early, please let me know. This corner might be a good place to start, since it is at least possible to get a seed through. Okay, now let's talk about the hardest trick in the game I know about for a moment. So when our plumber enters the wooded kingdom, he's supposed to do the brutal fight atop the tower first, and the other areas are basically blocked off. But luckily it is possible to get to some of these areas by using some really tight jumps. Okay, so getting up here was the easy part, since it is possible to make it to the top of the slope by using a really hard trick. It is possible to jump on top of the slope by using really tight inputs, but that's not the only reason why getting up there is so hard. On the top there is actually an invisible wall, which makes it impossible to climb to the top. So the only way to get up there would be by getting really far to the left and to wall jump over this ledge in order to bypass the invisible wall. Here's the thing, it's the hardest trick in the game, and there's nothing up there. No entities are loaded and there's literally nothing to show you. It's just interesting that it is possible to get up there, like from an academic point of view. So anyway, I tried to get this skip for 10 minutes or so, but I didn't even get close. And since there is nothing up there, I decided not to grind this trick for hours so that I could show you basically nothing. Sorry for that, but I thought some of you might still find it interesting that it is possible to get up there in theory. Okay, so next I want to take a... I'm just kidding. Here's the skip. It took me far over an hour to get this once, but it is totally worth it, since this is the only known way of getting up there while there is nothing up there. By the way, if someone found a way to clip into the boss fight before the tanks are loaded, that might be really useful. Okay, so now let's take a look at the most important skip for speedrunning in the game, the cave skip. Usually, Mario has to survive this huge cave, which I'm not going to show in order to minimize spoilers. Anyway, if Mario doesn't feel like doing this really long cave, he can luckily skip it by using the most useful skip currently known. This trick is in the category way harder to pull off than it looks. So basically, our plumber is able to jump off of this sphinx and to do 2 wall jumps in order to reach the top of the moon area. This trick is really hard to learn, learn, and since this is probably the biggest problem for people who want to speedrun a game, I'll quickly explain in detail how to get up there consistently. So I like to center the camera onto this little stone on the wall texture, so that I always get the same camera position when doing the trick. This is absolutely not required, but I found it really helpful when learning the skip. Next, Mario needs to start by a ground pound jump, and then he needs to jump off his super powerful head. What is important here is that Mario throws his head at the last possible moment in order to get the maximum height possible, because otherwise it won't work. Then he needs to land the first wall jump on the correct spot on the wall. There is this cross on the wall, which might not be super easy to see, but believe me, if you start to grind this trick, you'll start to see it. So Mario has to land in the top right corner of this cross in order for this to work, otherwise the second wall jump won't trigger. If everything worked out, our plumber only has to hold left in order to get the second wall jump, and the rest of the trick is free. Afterwards, Mario finds himself directly in front of the chapel. Okay, so that's basically it, but before we end this little video, just one more thing. So there is this clip by a YouTuber named Beatboxer08, and there was another video posted on the speedrun Reddit a couple of days ago by Big Time Smallen. Both somehow glitched the game in a way that makes it possible to swim in the air. So I tried for hours to find a way to reproduce one of these glitches for this video, but I wasn't able to find anything. These glitches look insanely cool and might actually be helpful depending on how to do them, but as far as I know, there is currently no way to reproduce them. So if someone of you finds a way to reproduce them or encounters these glitches while playing the game, please just hit the share button on the Joy-Cons for 2 seconds in order to capture a movie of the latest 30 seconds of gameplay and let me know about it. It would be really cool if we found a way to reproduce this together. I left you the link to both clips in the description. So with that being said, huge shout out to all the amazing glitch hunters and speedrunners who already found so many crazy things in this game, even though it is not even 2 weeks old. Seriously, thanks for making the real world a better place by tearing virtual ones apart. I left the names of the persons who found the glitches in the description, along with the link where I first learned about them. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, and if you feel especially glitched on today and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope that you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!